evening, ladies and gentlemen. The one advantage to the community appears to be an increase in turnover for local businesses. However, how will visitors from the caravan park travel to the village briefly? It's a 3-kilometre walk, round trip to the CBD of the village. There are limited footpaths and not too regular bus service. There is insufficient parking in the village at the moment. Many buses would be insufficient to meet the needs of the peak seasons. So say 200 families, only a quarter of the seat population drive to town or the club. Will the caravan park have a store of their own? The Department of Lands and the Tweed Coast Holiday Resort Trust says a decision has not yet been taken. So what appears to be an advantage, which will bring in some extra business, creates many negative impacts on our entire community. The disadvantages, as we have identified them, the community loses a valuable environmental asset. This will be addressed later in the presentation. As you will see from the proposed plan on screen, actual access to the beach is not shown. We are told the current access, Goanna Track, will become part of the caravan park and another northern pathway and southern pathway constructed so that people won't trample through destroying flora and fauna. If that is the case, entry to the beach may well occur opposite the southern entry to the Bottomgar Primary School, where a divided road presently exists. The southern access will be between the caravan park and the sewage treatment plant. Public access via the caravan park will not be permitted. The leash-free area. On South Beach there is 2.5 kilometres leash-free area, which commences 200 metres south of Norris Headland. We all know that this is a decision which Tweed Shire Council, not Lands Department or the Trust, is empowered to make. Will Tweed Shire Council approve this amenity being retained? Proximity to the primary school. This is a major concern to residents when there is a large transitory population so close to where their children go, often travelling unaccompanied. Despite assurances on the website that the caravan park is well south of the school, this is in actual fact not correct. Infrastructure. Those of us who live in the village remember only too well the flood which took place in 2005. Many parts of the village were affected. With the influx of some 800 to 1,000 people, what will be the impact on our drainage and sewage systems? Is there a planned upgrade of this infrastructure to cope with the increased population? We also identified youth issues. Thanks to the Business Association, Council and members of our local community, the problems previously experienced with some of our young people has to a large degree been addressed. The establishment of the youth centre and planned activities for our young people has helped establish trust, self-esteem and resulted in less vandalism. However, with the influx of such a large number of people into our community, many of whom will be young teenagers, nothing appears to have been planned in terms of activities for them on site at the caravan park. Surf life saving as another issue, and a written submission from the surf club will be presented later in the evening. Jobs. It is stated in some of the information released to the public that this facility will provide 10 jobs. We consider this to be a very low number of employees to service a 20-acre development adequately. Indeed, industry sources have commented on this fact negatively and queried its adequacy. This then brings into question the financial viability of the proposal on this fact alone. An increase in employees to properly service the caravan park would then impact on the bottom line. That is, it would not be as profitable as predicted. Fire breaks. On the plans which you see before you, it should be noted that the caravan park is depicted as being developed right up to the boundaries all around. Legislation which we've seen suggests that there is a mandatory 30-metre fire break required inside the property boundaries. If this is the case, then certainly the inclusion of such fire breaks being one mandatory requirement among many will reduce the size of the caravan park and again brings into question its financial viability. Just a few comments on the residential proposal. Of some concern are the following: access to the new Sandalwood estate via existing residential streets, adequacy of new roads to cope with volume of traffic for both residents and visitors, and the 3-storey townhouse component of the development, which we believe will impact negatively on adjoining properties and is too large, possibly 24 to 36 units, suggestive of low-cost housing. and finally the environmental issues which we address later. We have questioned LPMA on this issue and have asked specifically if these townhouses are to be classified as low-income housing. The question has not been satisfactorily answered. Our concerns in relation to this possibility relate to the availability of jobs for people who may rent these properties, or alternatively, if this is low-cost accommodation for older residents, then it is well removed from the village CBD for their everyday requirements. We believe a caravan park opposite this site will considerably devalue the sale price of the land and are at a loss to understand LPMA's strategy. Thank you.